I graduated from UNLV in 2017 with a degree in computer engineering. I've been working in tech companies ever since, mainly in fintech startups. Let's discuss all the different types of compensation that I've received in the last 6 years and which ones that you should not only just hope for, but the ones you should grow to expect when negotiating your next tech job comp plan. Before we get started, hit that like button and that subscribe button because the money that you'll make from your next tech job after the info that I'm about to share with you right now will be worth the like, subscribe, and much more. And to prove that value, download the list of high-paying tech positions in the link in the description. There are 5 types of compensation that we'll discuss in this video that are very common in tech companies. But first, I have to dispel this myth. Working in tech doesn't mean that you have to be a software engineer. So many people feel like tech companies only hire engineers, but if you really think about it, tech companies, just like any other company, has a various amount of departments like finance or marketing, legal, sales, operation, executives, human resources, even IT, which is actually different than engineering. And on top of all of those areas, they also hire engineers as well. Now, it's also important to note that not every tech company or not every position at a tech company will offer every single one of these 5 areas of compensation. But I've had all of them before, and the offer letter that I accepted for the current position I have has checked off all 5 boxes. So don't feel like you can only partially get what you want. You are worthy of being paid large sums of money. You just have to believe that you're worth it because you are. Okay, so let's jump right into it. The first type of compensation is going to be your full-time salary. This is very obvious. This is the one that everybody knows. This is going to be the majority part of your OTE, or what we call your on-target earnings. Your on-target earnings is made up of 2 things. It's going to be your full-time salary, which we're going to discuss right now, in addition to any variable pay. And this total number is going to be basically what you would say is your salaries. So if you have $100,000 as your salary and an additional $20,000 as your variable pay, then you will have a full OTE of $120,000. Your salary is going to be your biggest part of your OTE. Generally, 80-20 is a good split on what you should expect. And the salary portion of your OTE is going to be guaranteed pay, meaning that every 2 weeks or bi-monthly, you're going to get your salary portion of your check regardless of how you perform. 6-figure salaries are actually pretty common, and is not just for the engineers, for all these different positions as well. Tech companies pay all the different positions pretty well, and that's one of my favorite things about them. Okay, the second type of comp is going to be your bonus, or some type of variable pay. This is going to be the rest of your on-target earnings, which again we call it the OTE. This is my favorite type of compensations for 2 reasons. Number 1, I appreciate performance-based pay because it incentivizes hard work and it fairly compensates each person for their effort and for their results as well. So basically, if I'm a salesperson and I sell way more than everybody else on the sales team, I'll make more money because I had the best performance. And secondly, of course, I love the money. I love getting a big check every few months, which is in addition to my base salary that I'm guaranteed. Now, all companies pay some type of variable pay, whether it's a commission or a bonus or a profit share or something else, but not all positions will have a variable component. It is prominent in sales positions, in recruiting, or any other position responsible for retaining clients. Also, many managers and executives get incentive pay based on how well their team performs. So there's monthly commissions, and then there's also quarterly bonuses and also annual bonus structures as well. I myself like the quarterly bonuses, which is most prominent in my position, which is tech sales, or a sales engineer most specifically. Now, when I coach high earners that get bonuses, I always teach them, do not add your variable pay into your regular monthly budget, but instead use that to strategically take huge, gigantic steps in your big goals. Variable pay is not guaranteed, so we can't actually include it in your budget anyway. So we look at variable pay as additional income. Now, when you do get variable pay and that big check hits your account, it gets super fun because now we can see what big accomplishments we can have with that money. So the third type of comp is going to be your 401k match. And a 401k match simply means for every dollar that you invest, your job is going to match it. So let's just say that you invest $500 every paycheck, and then your employer matches you with another $500. Essentially, you invest $1,000, but only at half the cost. Not every employer or company is going to offer a 401k match. In fact, every company doesn't even offer a 401k in general. You should be investing for yourself and in your future, regardless if your employer offers this tool or not. If you want to know how you can open a Roth IRA, let me know in the comments and I'll do a full video on how you can get this set up for yourself. When your employer does offer a match, you should take full advantage of that match meaning the match percentage is the minimum amount that you should contribute to your check every single month. So if they match 3%, you should be contributing 3% or more of your income every single pay period. If they match 7%, likewise, you should contribute 7% or more. Some companies do weird stuff like 100% match for the first 5% and then like a 50% match for the next 10%, meaning that you should contribute 15% so you can get the full 10% match. Just note that everything that your employer contributes to your investment is free money. So you want to get all of that. And all of this money is saved up for your retirement, and it just adds to your net worth. Do me a favor and gently hit that like button if you haven't already. This lets YouTube know that this info is valuable. And subscribe to Wealth is My Worth to continue learning about how to maximize your earning potential. Also, you can download that careers list, which has dozens of roles at tech companies that you can apply for today, which are organized by department and listed with salaries and the skills required. I add roles to that often so that sheet is always up to date. The fourth type of comp is going to be equity. This part of your comp plan won't be offered by every single company, but it is very common in the tech industry, and all of the best tech companies give shares of ownership in the company as compensation to its employees. Equity is extremely important to me, and I would be extremely hesitant to work for a company that did not offer some type of ownership in the company. Equity is especially prevalent in tech startups because it's used to incentivize top prospects to join an unproven company with hopes of one day having this big payout sometime in the future. One thing I will say, and this is from experience, equity at a tech startup is excellent when the company is doing good and on pace to either go public or be bought out by like a larger company or something. Equity is worth 1,000 pounds of air if the company is not on a trajectory of success. Shares of equity are usually given in increments of 1,000. I've been offered as low as 4,000 shares of equity, and I've been offered as many as 40,000 shares of equity. But I always say be wary of these big numbers because out of the 4 times that I've been granted shares, the equity's only panned out to be worth anything 1 of those 4 times. 2 of the companies went out of business, meaning like all or most of the staff was laid off. And in 1 case, I left that company before any of my stock had ever been vested. Now, I'm not saying don't put value in equity, just be wary of the companies that overvalue the equity portion of their offer by holding this big shiny promise of a huge payout one day without being able to really back up what they say. Because all of the companies are going to say they're working to go public. All of the companies are super excited about the company's progress so far, but they don't all make it to the finish line. While you should be cautious of the companies that are overhyping this, you should also know that finding the right company at the right time could literally change your life. Just imagine getting 10 to 50,000 shares of stock in a company just for being an early employee. 4 years later, the company goes public, and each one of those shares is worth, let's just say, $25. With just 10,000 shares, that earns you $250,000 in equity, and that's on top of all the other compensation that we've already discussed. But imagine keeping that stock for, a few more years because the company's on a good trajectory and they're doing well, and that value of that stock goes up to $100 per share. This alone makes you a millionaire. And if you're doing it right and you've invested this whole entire time, this just adds more money and more cushion to your net worth. So remember, that advice is specific to tech startups. Many other tech companies that you'll apply for have already gone public, and they also offer equity as well. This is basically like cash. Every share that you're granted that vests is money in your pocket, and it can be either used to keep and let it grow or sell for actual cash. The last type of comp that we'll discuss in detail today is going to be the sign-on bonus. A sign-on bonus is just money that companies use as a negotiation tool to get you, the top prospect, to choose to work for their company over another company that you might be interviewing with. This free money usually has very little strings attached. At the most, you might have to keep working for that company for a minimum amount of time, but you'll get this whole bonus as a lump sum when you first start working for that company. The sign-on bonus is still offered to highly sought-out prospects, but they're not as popular as they were back in 2020 or 2021. At that time, the market was super hot for prospects, and people were asking for like $50,000, $100,000 sign-on bonuses, and they were actually getting them. I'm sure this is still possible today, so still try to negotiate what you can, but even a $10,000 sign-on bonus could make a huge impact on your finances. You could fund an emergency fund, you could get a head start on your investment, you could knock out a large portion of a debt, or you can just fund some other financial goal. There are 2 things that you need to do to be able to negotiate a sign-on bonus into your job offer. Number one, you're going to have to show that you are a top prospect. You have to set yourself apart from all the other prospects and show that you can bring more value than anyone else that they're interviewing. And then secondly, you need to be able to show that you have interest in other options other than just working for this company. The easiest way to do this is to be interviewing with multiple companies that also want you. You need the company to say you are the person that they want to hire, and they will do anything to not lose you to another competitor. This happens often for experienced and proven employees because great employees are hard to find. There are many other benefits for working for a tech company that have financial impact as well, but these are the top 5 that are specific to compensation. I'll do a part 2 to this video where we get into the crazy cool details about some of the unique benefits that I've only heard of when working for a tech company. If you're interested in that, or you have specific questions about working in tech companies, drop those in the comments below and I'll do a video on those, and I'll also respond to all the comments as well. Like, comment, subscribe, and download the list of high-paying roles at the tech companies. And if you'd like to learn more about how to optimize your LinkedIn profile and attract some of these high-paying job offers, watch this video here. Thank you for watching all the way through this video, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the next one. And don't forget, you are worthy of wealth.